Be it Batman, Spiderman, Mom, Pa, Kettle, He-Man, Star Wars. Let's face it, as a kid back in the 80s, you had a belt. And today, we're going to talk about them. Guys, it's time to look at kids' belts from the 80s. And sometimes just the belt buckle itself. Now, growing up, sometimes we weren't allowed to wear shirts with our favorite character or TV or movie or cartoon on it to school. So you could sneak it on a belt. You could even sneak it on a belt when you went to Sunday school. So it was great. You could show your love for Alvin and the Chipmunks or whatever on your belt. And most of the adults, the ones that was like, oh, don't wear that, they wasn't going to notice your belt. Now, there's all kinds. Like I said at the beginning, from the A-Team, to superheroes, to TV shows, all kinds of belts. So, today, we're going to take a look at some of these belts. Maybe even the belt that your daddy spanked you with. Let's take a look. Oh, I think this one here is more 90s belt. Batman. That's a Batman right there if I've ever seen one. Yes, a Batman belt. Let's move on right here. I think I had this one. It kind of unlocked some kind of memory. Maybe it was a different Sesame Street one, but this looks very familiar. And who knows, maybe I had this one. You'll think twice about letting Larry into the closet again, won't you? And how about this right here? We're back again with another Batman belt. I can't believe it. A Batman belt. Seen it all now, haven't you? Check this out right here. Oh, we're going to blow this one up. No, Larry, I'm talking about the picture. That is a Power Rangers belt. So I guess we're back in the 90s. This was supposed to be all 80s belts. 80s belts. Getting good help is hard to find. And then we have Indiana Jones belt buckle. Who wouldn't want this? I wouldn't want that. Who wouldn't want that? An Indiana Jones belt buckle. That's pretty awesome right there. Oh, how about King Kong? This is more from the 70s. Hello. But I'll let it slide this time. King Kong, remember that movie? Looks like they draw it look like cartoon airplanes. I don't really get that. And then we have Smokey the Bear. He used to scare me. Not because he was Smokey the Bear, because he would tell only me could prevent forest fires. Only me. But that's not true. Other people can too, not just me. And then we have the A-Team. Now, I would like to have Murdoch on my belt buckle, but here it is, Mr. T. Mr. T belt buckle. It reminds, this isn't one, but it reminds me of those, we call them schoolboy belts. I don't know if they had like, you stick like this part of the belt in it, and it had like a little, you got to pull, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, but check this out right here. Back off, man. I'm the real Ghostbuster. Yeah, a Ghostbusters belt. A Ghostbusters. A belt for the Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? Your daddy when he whips your ass. And then we got the A-Team belt buckle. Look at that, Mr. T. I can imagine this thing lasted millions of years or thousands. You know, I tell them in the comments, but imagine this thing like 500 years from now or something when nuclear bomb, everybody's gone, and some archaeologist digs this up. And it's like, what is the A-Team? It'd be kind of weird. Maybe it's laying on a rocket, it fossilized or something. I don't know. And then we've got E.T. Imagine your dad taking this off to give you a spanking with. E.T. phone home. That's what you get for playing that Atari game. And then we've got Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters number 2. And how about this? Pac-Man. I don't think I had a Pac-Man belt, but I sure would have loved to have a Pac-Man belt.
I would have a centipede one.
What? No one wants a centipede belt. Sorry about that. Let's move on here to a G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. Oh, you know how much I love G.I. Joe. You can have a belt. Walk around with a G.I. Joe belt. And how about this? Yeah, a Gremlins belt. Gremlins. A belt from the Gremlins. Get back in place. And then we have Hot Wheels. Formula Fever. Yeah, even Hot Wheels got into the act. And how about this? Karate Kid. Did you know they made a Karate Kid belt? Did you? I bet you didn't. Karate Kid, the belt. And how about this? Thought it was BJ and the Bear to start with, but it was Bear in the Air. It's a CB belt. That would have been cool to hear. I would have been like, hey, there's a bear in the air. Go. Oh, what's your 10 for, good buddy? That would have been a great belt to have. How about an Annie belt? You know, some dad bought this for their son just to spank him with. An Annie belt. Make you wish he was an orphan. And how about a Spider-Man? This one looks familiar too. I don't remember a Spiderman belt, but this one looks familiar. Maybe I knew someone else that had it. Maybe his name was Rusty, and he lived 2 blocks over. And then we have Pac-Man. Look at that. I got Pac-Man fever, Pac-Man fever, Pac-Man fever. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Let's move on here to another G.I. Joe belt. G.I. Joe, the real American hero. And Star Wars. I'm sure some of you out there had a Star Wars belt, didn't you? Yeah, I bet you did. Let's be honest. I'm sure you did have a Star Wars belt. And then we have Return of the Jedi belt. I had this belt. Well, I didn't. Mine was red, but I remember it had that same belt buckle on it. Yeah, it did. Had that very same belt buckle on it. And then we've got Masters of the Universe. Who's your master? Who's your master? Masters of the Universe. Let's move on here to Indiana Jones. I think I had this one too. It looks familiar. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with my Return of the Jedi belt.
I bet you had a Congo Bongo belt.
No! Did not have one of those, Larry. Let's move on here to a Hulk belt. I'm angry. I'm Hulk. Then we have Return of the Jedi. Still not the one I had. That one's blue and got Darth Vader on it.
Bet you had a Wicked belt.
Did not have that one. Did not. Let's see what else we got here. Superman. Superman. I think we all liked the Superman belt buckle back in the day. And how about this one? What is this? Tonka team. You somewhere in the Tonkas you want a belt that says you're part of the Tonka team? Oh, that deserves a spanking right there. Don't join the Tonka team. Then we have Ninja Turtles. 90s! Oh, wait a minute. This might have been the late 80s. Sorry about that. And we've got, I've looked at that one already. R2D2. And look at that. C3PO. That's a weird looking right there. I thought it was a bootleg, but it still was by the Lee Jean Company, like most of these. And it's just really weird looking in it. Just really, really odd. And how about this one? Atari. Like Atari the 2600. Woohoo! I love the Atari. Play some Frogger. Play some Haunted House. Combat. Ooh. Boy, I love playing some combat. But my favorite was Adventure. Woo! I was a Dragon Slayer. And then we have, what is New Kids on the Block. That is not appropriate for this channel. That's it. That's the Return of the Jedi belt I had. Whew. That is it. It was kind of springy like. You know, your daddy wasn't going to whoop your butt with that one. And then we have Voltron. There's a Voltron. Oh, man. I didn't even know they made a Voltron. Crazy. A Voltron belt. Okay. Karate Kid. More Karate Kid? I have seen it all now. What else we got? Nintendo. Didn't have this one as a kid. Be kind of cool to have. I mean, after all, it's freaking Nintendo. Who wouldn't want that? Here's a Michael Jackson one. Some reason it has a yellow substance hand on it. I don't really understand that. And how about this one? Fred Flintstone. Couldn't get all Flintstone in the one word. They had to hyphenate it. Flintstone. Fred Flintstone. Then we've got, somebody out there bought a MASH belt. MASH. 4077. I don't know how you say it. At least it didn't say you swamp. Remember that? Remember that? Remember Hot Lips? Remember Hot Lips? And Klinger and Radar? Hawkeye? Remember all them? I sure do. Here we go. Suspenders. That's more nerdy than a belt. This should be one of my bully beat-up lists. Suspenders. G.I. Joe. You're just asking for a kid to get his butt kicked with suspenders. And what is this? Rambo. An R-rated movie turned into a belt buckle for kids. Rambo. Can you believe it? Rambo. I cannot believe it either. Crazy. Crazy times we live in. Then we've got, look at it. I thought this is crazy. The belt buckle looks real, but look at the belt. Looks like it's made out of paper or something. This is crazy. Leave it to a Southern cracker to make a belt out of paper.
I wish his belt was made out of paper.
Let's look at let's look at one more belt buckle, and it was a manly belt buckle from the 70s. A big old hamburger from McDonald's.
It's called a Big Mac.
I know that. And next time you get me a hamburger, you better not get no onions on it. There we go, right there. I think you need to turn it to the camera. Let the camera see. Now, I'm sure this video has been very disturbing, and you don't know how you sat through the whole thing, but you did. But you did.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.